With just 6 days to go until WrestleMania Backlash on Sunday, WWE made sure to use Monday's Raw to highlight some of the most high-profile feuds. Before he defends the WWE Championship in a triple threat match, Bobby Lashley faced Drew McIntyre 1 week after battling Braun Strowman. Randy Orton and Riddle's new partnership has proved popular with fans, so WWE continued it this week by having them team up with the New Day to face Jackson Riker, Elias, and Raw Tag Champions AJ Styles and Omos. We also saw Asuka, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke team up to take on Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler in a 6-woman tag team match. Let's take a look at everything that happened on the go-home episode of Raw before WrestleMania Backlash. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. Happy WrestleMania Backlash week. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, the Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, will not be with us this evening due to personal reasons beyond her control. Apologies for the late start. Had some difficulties as usual, but we're ready. So let's just dive right on in. Let's try not to take up too much time here, gentlemen. So 6-woman tag team match to start the show. Yes, it was not a windbag talking segment like it usually is. Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose. 6-woman tag team action. And it was the babyface team that actually went on to win this match. Asuka scoring the winning fall for her team. And just bear with me one moment as I just trying to get this out of my system here. All right, here we go. Babyface team won the match, that I do know. And it was in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. But there was some chicanery, though. Alexa Bliss and Lily were on the stage with the Alexa Playground setup. Asuka said she had her eye on somebody. We'll have to look into that. But nonetheless, 2.5 stars. While we have seen many great promos over the years, starting a show with wrestling instead of talking will always get things off to a better start. The match began with a solid pace and G. Bliss showing up was surprising, but if we are supposed to think responsible for Baszler's issue, WWE did not do a good enough job making that clear. Everybody looked good in this match, but the storytelling left a little to be desired. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Not much more to say. MF, your thoughts on this 6-woman tag to start things tonight?
Pleasant surprise, good start to Monday Night Raw, no doubt about it. Look, I think at the end of the day, it's like you said, it was a little perplexing. Maybe they might be doing Asuka versus probably Asuka versus Alexa Bliss is possibly the first feud. And there's also rumors about maybe Mandy Rose versus Charlotte possibly as a feud as well. So it looks like there might be 2 feuds, which means there's a very good chance that that the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley, might be walking out of this with being still the Raw Women's Champion on Sunday night. But we'll get into the preview on Friday. We'll get more into that on Friday when we do the official preview. But Bullock, it's yours. 2.5 stars.
Yeah, 2.5 stars for me. I mean, it's good to have an actual match to start it off instead of a segment, but yeah, it was. Everybody in the match was perplexed by Alexa Bliss's appearance, saying she had an eye on someone. Like you said, maybe it could be Asuka, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, let's move on.
And we move on to, let's see, there a lot of backstage stuff. And then Jinder Mahal. Yes, Jinder Mahal. He's back with a new look and a new stable. Veer and Shanky, formerly of Indusure, and he went up against Jeff Hardy, and Jinder Mahal, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, wins the match. We're not going to get into the match, but MF, I mean, Jinder Mahal, new look, new stable.
And wow. I like it. I like it. He needed a repackaging. He needed a new attitude. He needed a new crew. Look, he's been out due to injury for a little while now, and I'm happy. I like it. The modern day Maharaja, ever since the days that he was the WWE champion on SmackDown and had that run when they gave him the gold, that was one of the biggest coming outs for him. I think, if they book him correctly, I could see him as a future United States champion. I think they could build him as a United States champion, and his new running buddies, I mean, they're pretty strong. They look pretty formidable. If they're booked correctly, this could be a trio of terror that could run Raw amok. Get ready, guys. But that's only if they book them right. But a nice showcase fight more than anything else. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, and then, like you said, this was a showcase here for Jinder Mahal because, like you said, injuries have really riddled him. And yeah, I really like this new faction and the new attitude. So hopefully, this could lead to some good things for Jinder Mahal. But we'll definitely have to wait and see. But yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, what's yours?
Yeah. Let me see what I have here. This was a short match with no storyline and no hype, but it was a solid outing for Mahal's return. It was basic in a way that made sense for such a short encounter. Veer and Shanky had no impact on the result, so their presence felt like an afterthought. Seeing Hardy used as a jobber stinks, but he is at that point in his career where he could lose 50 matches and still be popular. He'll get a push eventually. It'll be interesting to see if WWE continues to commits to Mahal's push, or cuts it short like it has with so many superstars before. So it would probably be about a 1.5 star or so for the effort. Then we had an 8-man tag team match. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Randy Orton, and Riddle against the Raw Tag Team Champions AJ Styles, Omos, Elias, and Jackson Riker. Face team wins 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Randy Orton hits an RKO on Elias, but then after the match, Randy Orton goes wild. He RKOs Xavier Woods, RKOs Kofi Kingston. I think that's self-explanatory there, but he didn't go after Riddle. Interesting. Michael Bullock, we talked about this during our Raw chat. I mean, Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston on the same team, that was one thing. But then Orton going berserk after the match. So with that, face team wins 12 minutes, 20 seconds. Bullock, we started with you here.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match here. I mean, I'll give this about maybe 3.25 stars for the match here. I mean, the right team basically went over, and yeah, I mean, I still don't know what to make of this team of Riddle and Orton. I mean, yes, Orton goes to RKO Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, but he didn't turn on Riddle. So I think eventually, guys, he's going to turn on Riddle, but it's going to be vintage Randy Orton. He's going to do it when we least expect it. So that's pretty much all I can say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, 3 to 3.25 stars. Keeping Randy Orton unpredictable is smart. He shouldn't just get along with everybody just because he's not the biggest villain on the roster anymore. He should still hate Kofi Kingston for ruining his custom race car all those years ago. So the post-match attack worked perfectly. The match itself was good, but nothing special. Omos is still limited in the ring, so the way WWE has been using him in these matches has been the best way to hide his limits. He is a monster. He doesn't need to work a marathon when he can sprint. The RK Bro pairing continues to produce entertaining moments. However, this week made it clear their alliance has an expiration date. At some point, Riddle is going to eat an RKO. And I know a certain Randy Orton fan amongst us is going to have that sinister Cheshire Cat grin on his face when that happens. So not much more to say here. 3 to 3.25 stars. I agree with Bullock's sentiment here. So MF, Team RK Bro and the New Day, they get the win. Randy Orton goes on an RKO spree. Still has hard feelings for Kofi. Interesting to see them on the same team.
Yeah, that was definitely look, Orton's one of those guys where, you know, he'll forgive you, but he'll never forget if you ever burn him or cross him. And now it's one of those things, you know. There's been a little bit of a situation between Orton and Kofi for a number of years. Kofi harbors some ill will towards Orton because he felt like, you know, he kind of buried his push and kind of cost him an opportunity where he felt like he could have gotten a world title program years and years and years ago, and that probably got buried by Orton. So, I mean, there is some legitimate heat there. With Xavier Woods, I think he just got tired of the stupid trombone. You know what? That stupid trombone he hears all the freaking time with the New Day thing. He probably is like, yeah, well, here, why don't you Francesca this? RKO to him. For Riddle's you're just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, son. But, you know, he was able to reel in Orton, but, you know, when you got a Viper on loose like that, anything can happen. So, yeah, this was a good fight. This was a good match. 3 stars for me, but like you said, it's only a matter of time before Orton kind of snaps and RKO's Riddle. But I kind of feel like a lot of people would probably side with Orton if he does nail the original Bro with that RKO. So I'm just saying. But it's Orton, man. He could do that at any time. That's the one thing we got to keep a real close eye on. Is not a matter of if he does it, it's when does he pull the trigger on it.
Okay, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that as it develops. But for right now, let's see. Then we had the United States Heavyweight Champion Sheamus versus Humberto Carrillo in a non-title match. And the winner of the match in an even 10 minutes via a referee stoppage, Sheamus. Wow. I would probably have to. I think we're probably going to have to call this an NA, even if it was a 3-star match if I was going to rate it. But this match ended prematurely due to an injury, so it doesn't fit to rate it like any other bout. This is especially sad for Carrillo since he just recently returned after a long absence from TV. Let's hope this is not serious. And a match after that, what I think was a botched powerbomb there by Carrillo, I think it might be serious. Oh my goodness, what a botch that was.
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked bad on screen. I hope they understand the magnitude of it. Yeah, this is the unfortunate thing that normally happens, guys. We see unfortunate incidences that happens in sports and everything else, and unfortunately, this might have reared its ugly head here. And like you said, it's horrible. It's horrible of a situation, to say the very least. But we just gotta kind of see how it plays out. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with Humberto Carrillo. We hope that it's not a serious injury. Like you said, 3-star fight. It was a good match. The ending, though, man, that it was left to be desired. That's all I'm going to say about that. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 3 stars as well. I mean, the match was good, but like you said, the ending was left to be desired, and I really hope Humberto Carrillo is okay. I mean, yeah, that was bad with that botch there, but you know what? I mean, stuff like that can happen sometimes. I mean, you think it can't happen to you? Well, it can, and unfortunately, Humberto Carrillo learned it the hard way. So I hope he gets better. So I'm just gonna give it to you, Florio.
Yeah, our thoughts and our prayers definitely with Humberto Carrillo, a young man who I have been, rooting for since his days on 205 Live. So, we'll wait and see what happens with that. Um, then we had Cedric Alexander against Sheldon Benjamin. And Sheldon Benjamin, he wins the match in 4 minutes and 25 seconds. And fellas, we saw the old school Sheldon Benjamin. He won with a T-bone. Oh, how about that?
How you like your T-bone steak?
Well done, baby.
I like it well done.
I think we can all say fun little sprint here, guys. MF,
Absolutely, yes,
Same
agreed.
here.
Fun little sprint, but I'm very happy that they gave Sheldon the rub. That's the bigger thing. Sheldon Benjamin needed this win. He deserves this win. This is exactly what he needed. He needed a good win. I know the rivalry is going to continue, but I love the fact that they did not bury Sheldon here tonight. They actually gave him the win because Cedric could take a loss and he can bounce back real quick. Sheldon is on the other hand. If Sheldon would have lost tonight, I don't know where he would have gone from there. At least they give him at least a little bit of breathing room. That's the good thing. And like you said, he went back to his old style. He didn't hit Pater. He went with the T-bone steak, and that is and yes, that was a classic Mikey and Tony special from way back in the day when we used to do the commentary over the phone.
Raw chat.
The Raw chat, yes, our Raw chat back in the day. So
stage announce table days, baby.
Oh yeah. So
I'll let JR and the King. So Bullock, your thoughts? T-bone, how about it?
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a fun little sprint here, and yeah, definitely good to see the old school Shelton Benjamin back. And yeah, he really needed this win. I think this was the right call here. I mean, Cedric Alexander. I mean, he could take a loss and come back, and obviously this thing's going to continue with them. But I mean, Florio can agree with me, but Fletch, I don't know how you feel, but don't you think Cedric Alexander's ego came back to bite him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He got too cocky, too arrogant. It's almost like he was playing with his food. That's like the analogy you will say with it. He was playing with his food, and he made a mess of it.
Yeah, he kept saying, "Oh, I'm better than you. I'm better than you." And yeah, where did it get him? Absolutely nowhere. So, just a little reminder to you, Cedric Alexander: check your ego out the door, because that's what's going to cost you from going to the top of eventually if you want to get back there. So, learn your lesson there, bro. So, nothing else to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, that's what Bullock and I were talking about during our Raw chat this evening. That was the focal point of the match, Cedric's ego, and that's exactly what happened. There is nothing better than putting two incredible athletes in the ring and letting them work. The only thing that would have helped was an additional 5 minutes. But WWE is probably building up to a final encounter, so they need to leave room to build. Breaking up the Hurt Business was an unpopular decision, and breaking up Benjamin and Alexander was met with equal scorn from fans. If we get more matches like this, though, it will help soften the blow a bit. 2.5 to 3 stars. Sleeper fight of the night, no doubt about that. And then from there, we had Rhea Ripley, the Raw Women's Champion, one-on-one with Asuka. Rhea Ripley wins the match in 12 minutes and 35 seconds. Bullock, this was another one of our focal points during our Raw chat this evening. We smell a rat here. And Charlotte Flair definitely got into the ear of Sonya Deville and had Sonya make this match. So Bullock, your thoughts on Rhea Ripley and Asuka? Rhea wins 12 minutes, 35 seconds. Just about as almost a carbon copy of the WrestleMania bout almost.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3.25 stars here. I mean, this was another good match here. I mean, but yeah, I can definitely say I don't know how all you guys feel, but I think I smell a rat here. I mean, Charlotte had to whisper something into Sonya Deville's ear and say, you know what? Put these two in a match, let them beat the you-know-what out of each other, so that way I can pick the bones come Sunday and win back the Raw Women's title. And yeah, and Florio, I mean, if you didn't say it last week, who did you say that Charlotte Flair was?
A bleep politician.
Exactly, because
Hulk Hogan and Bill Goldberg nothing on her.
Exactly. I mean, because how many times have we seen her in the title picture? I mean, so many times I can't even count.
About 1,222,660 times.
I mean, we wanted to see another Charlotte. I mean, not Charlotte. Asuka and Rhea Ripley match. I mean, obviously a WrestleMania Backlash because, I mean, these two were supposed to. I mean, they had their rematch on Raw, but Charlotte Flair had to ruin it by sticking her nose where it didn't belong, and then Charlotte using her politician role and saying to Sonya, "Be fair to Flair," and basically Sonya gave Charlotte what she wanted. So yeah, so I hope WWE doesn't put the title back on Charlotte because the IWC will go off because you're pushing Rhea Ripley to be this up and coming talent. You gave her the moment at WrestleMania. And if you have her drop it to Charlotte, this would be like WrestleMania from last year all over again. So I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but only time will tell. So nothing else to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.25 star match. This was a physical match between two of the best workers on the roster, but the stuff at ringside with Charlotte was unnecessary and added nothing in the end. Ripley turning heel out of nowhere a few weeks ago has made her character feel inconsistent, especially since she doesn't tend to cheat too often. The triple threat at Backlash between these three superstars could be one of the best matches on the card if these recent encounters were just the tip of the iceberg. This was a 3.25 star match. So, MF, not quite as good as the Mania match, but almost there.
Like you said, not as good as Mania. It was almost there. It was pretty good. 3 stars is the rating, and there's really nothing more to add. I guess we'll have a lot more to talk about on Friday.
Indeed. So with that being said, we move on to our next match, which was Damien Priest versus John Morrison. It was announced that Damien Priest and The Miz will face off at WrestleMania Backlash. And this match with Priest and Morrison, if Priest won, he would choose the stipulation. If Morrison won, then Miz would choose the stipulation. Well, it's going to be Damien Priest choosing the match because Damien Priest wins the match 13 minutes and 20 seconds. and we'll get into what it is in a moment. But this is the feud that never ends. Priest has been feuding with The Miz and John Morrison in one way or another since he debuted at the Royal Rumble. This needs to end Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. That said, Morrison and Priest were good together. While they use different styles, they have more in common than you might see at first glance, especially when it comes to their kicks. This was one of the best singles matches this feud has produced. In fact, it might have been the best. It's hard to imagine The Miz will be able to do better on Sunday, especially with this match being in the confines of a lumberjack match. Damien Priest chose the lumberjack match stipulation. We'll leave it at that. 3.5 stars for this match. I would probably say this was the second best fight of the night here. So MF, it's going to be Priest and Miz in a lumberjack match, and we all remember what happened the last time Mr. Miz was in a lumberjack match now, don't we?
Oh, it did not turn out well because that was for the WWE Championship, and Bobby Lashley benefited wholeheartedly as he walked away with the gold on that night. So we're going to have some jackasses as lumberjacks. You already know something bad always happens when you have when it turns into a lumberjack ass fight, because normally that's how it normally goes. So no, this is going to be all right. There's really nothing more to add. So Mike Bullock, it looks like instead of calling it a lumberjack match, it's going to be a bunch of lumberjack asses outside the ring on Sunday.
And they're there to make sure the Miz doesn't try to weasel his way out of this match. But 3.5 stars. This was definitely the second best fight of the night as far as I'm concerned here. So so there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's move on, Florio.
Yeah, and you could also definitely an argument for fight of the night about that. But then this was the main event. This was the main event. Non-title match. WWE Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley with MVP squaring off against Drew McIntyre. Return match from WrestleMania. Winner of the match, 13 minutes and 25 seconds via disqualification. It was Drew McIntyre because Braun Strowman attacked Drew McIntyre first. I made that point to Bullock. I told Bullock, hey, Braun Strowman attacked McIntyre first. So technically, Drew wins the match via disqualification. So, and that's what happened here. But MF, the monster among men, was not done yet. And then what he did to Bobby Lashley created a MF and Joey Styles, oh my God, moment.
Yeah, it did. It did. Oh my God, indeed. Good main event. Stinks that Strowman got involved, but I get it. I understand it. There's no problem here. 3 to 3.5 stars. It probably would have been fight of the night if it wasn't for the DQ finish. There's really nothing more to add. Bullock, it's yours.
Well, I'm going to give it 3.5, and I'm actually going to say Damien Priest and John Morrison to me was the fight of the night. I mean, Fletch makes a good point. I mean, I get it what they're trying to do here, but the DQ finish, I mean, if it wasn't for the DQ finish, this match here would definitely be the fight of the night, hands down. But because of that, I unfortunately cannot call it the fight of the night. So so there's really nothing more for me to add. So Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. 3.25, 3.5. If you look at how things have played out over the past few weeks, Lashley, Strowman, and McIntyre have the exact same storyline as Asuka, Rhea, and Charlotte. The repetitiveness has been especially noticeable in the post-WrestleMania feuds. However, this feud has produced some hard-hitting encounters, so it's hard to be made at it. Whenever Lashley and McIntyre are in the ring together, they bring out the best in each other. The DQ finish was not ideal, but at this point, there was no way this was ever going to end clean. Strowman was always going to be the deciding factor. So with that being said, let's get to our overall thoughts. Michael Bullock, we'll start it with you here. Go home, the WrestleMania Backlash edition of Raw. How'd it do?
I thought it did well. I mean, Yeah, you did have some. You had some all right matches, some good matches here, and one match that wasn't. A couple matches that were pretty much left to be desired. So I'm going to give this about 7.5 as far as I'm concerned. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree with that. Overall, this week's Raw did little to make the pay-per-view more interesting, but we did get to see some solid wrestling. At the end of the day, that is the most important thing WWE needs to do. After Backlash, WWE needs to create some new title feuds, especially with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view being, following this. We saw more baby steps this week. I mean, the creative forces have done a better job of filling the 3 hours over the last couple of weeks and seem to be doing more with acts such as the Lucha House Party, Humberto Carrillo, Cedric Alexander, Sheldon Benjamin. So that's really all we can ask for. So about 7, maybe 7.5 for that. So yeah, good effort here, and definitely put SmackDown on notice come Friday night. So not much more to say. So MF, I mean, it's still a work in progress, but Raw is slowly but surely starting to get better.
Yeah, they are. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'll actually go same thing with him. 7.5 for once. It was a good, enjoyable Monday Night Raw. That's definitely great news to hear. Nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, we're gonna get into our Tony's take now, and just okay. Of course, we got Impact Wrestling, we got 205 Live, and just need to figure out what the date was. All right. All right. Oh, that's right. All right. Getting into Impact Wrestling from this past week. All right, there we go. Had it in the wrong spot for a minute. Okay. Under Siege qualifier, Chris Sabin versus Rhino. Chris Sabin wins the match, 2 3/4 of a star. Solid match with Sabin working a good fiery comeback. Sabin advances to the contenders match, joining a fresh group of guys. Then we had Susan versus Taylor Wilde. Taylor Wilde wins the match. About 2 stars. I mean, it was short but entertaining for what it was, as Taylor Wilde looks great in her comeback so far. The storyline is just getting started, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Rohit Raju against Trey Miguel in another Under Siege qualifier. Trey Miguel wins the match, 3 1/4 stars. Both guys put in the best work of their life. Trey has become a fantastic babyface in the ring, and Rohit proved how great of a heel he is with his X Division title run. Doc Gallows versus Juice Robinson. Doc Gallows wins the match, 2 1/4 stars. It was all right and pretty standard for a Doc singles match. The group continues to look dominant with the babyfaces needing some fire. All right. VSK went up against El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo wins the match. It was a 3-star match. It was short, but both guys looked incredible. VSK showed off in the ring, while ELP displayed such swagger that demands to be on TV. The X Division is in a great spot right now, and ELP will be a welcome addition. He will be a welcome addition for however long he is available. Now, MF, I don't know much about this guy. I know you know some things about him, but what do you know about El Phantasmo that maybe some of our viewers don't know?
El Phantasmo is one of those guys who was on Lucha Underground, and he actually is one of the big stars of AAA. He's been one of the rising stars of AAA. Let me tell you, this guy has been quite a name for himself. So, no, big name, big star from Mexico. And he's wrestled in AAA, and I do believe he's also been in CMLL as well. So El Phantasmo is without a doubt like I said, he is one of the top guys, Canadian-based wrestler, actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard.
his name is Riley Vigor. He's been in Revolution Pro, so I mean that's what he was, and he's wrestled. I mean, you want to talk about names? I thought he was in. He was actually. Oh, whoa! Wait hold up! Hold a minute.
What's up?
Okay, former British Cruiserweight Champion of the World. He went through the forbidden door. He's from New Japan.
Yup. Yes, sir. I kind of remember hearing the Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown mention something about that. Yep, he also is from New Japan, and next week he's going to be on again next week. But listen to this: he's going to be going up against Ace Austin, Rohit Raju, TJP, Petey Williams, and AC Ramiro in a scramble match, and the winner will challenge for the X Division Championship at the Under Siege special. How about that?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you want to talk about big names, I mean, you're talking about a two-time former junior tag team champion, junior heavyweight tag team champion 2 times with the Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori. And I mean, you want to talk about one of the top cruiserweight fighters in the world.
wow.
That's him.
Yeah, he sounds
Current
like
member of the Bullet Club, by the way. So all you Bullet Club marks out there, you guys know who he is. You know who he is.
Absolutely. Positively. So yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, MF, because you weren't on last week. So
Yep.
But
because at first I thought because there is another El Phantasmo, and it's actually the father is actually that works in AAA. His son is actually Santos Escobar of NXT.
Oh wow. That's something.
That's something.
Wow. Okay. I don't know how to follow that, but we'll move on to the match with Kiera Hogan squaring off against one half of the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Rachel Ellering. Rachel Ellering wins the match. Had solid action. Rachel served as a good powerhouse against the pace of Kiera. Good stuff here that made Rachel look strong as the newcomer. About 2.5 for that. Under Siege qualifier, Moose versus James Storm. Moose wins the match. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. This was a good match with strong psychology and storytelling, showcasing Moose and his dominant work on Storm's leg, who was a terrific babyface in peril. Impact may be teasing a breakup between James Storm and Chris Sabin, which could be interesting. So 7.5 out of 10. Very good show with strong in-ring action and character performances all around. Moose looked like a star in his return to the ring, taking out Storm, who took the beating well. El Phantasmo's entrance into the X Division was a hit, and next week we see him in that gauntlet match. Trey and Rohit had a fun creative match. Taylor Wilde looks fantastic since being back. I would like to see more happen with Kenny Omega, but we are building right now, and that's fine. I enjoyed last week, and Impact is really clicking right now as we get ready for the Under Siege the Under Siege special that will be on Impact Plus this Saturday night. And this upcoming Thursday on Impact Wrestling, in addition to that scramble match for the X Division Championship that I mentioned, Rosemary will go one-on-one with Havoc. Number 1 contenders match. Whoever wins this will be the next in line to challenge Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts Championship. That'll probably be at Under Siege as well. And Carl Anderson will go one-on-one with David Finlay. And Jordan Grace will go one-on-one with Tasha Steelz. So that's the card for that. And then Saturday night, we have the Under Siege special that will be taking place on the Impact Plus this upcoming Saturday night. I'll definitely be tuning in, no question about that. And I don't think I have the full card, but this is what you can expect to see this Saturday night on that show. Of course, we will have all right, it'll be Black Taurus versus Brian Myers. W. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass, he's going to go up against Willie Mack. Return match for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship, Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering against Fire and Flava. Chris Bay, Matt Cardona, Sami Callihan, Chris Sabin, Trey Miguel, and Moose. Number one contenders match. The winner of that will be the first to challenge Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship. And speaking of, how about this main event, MF? Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice in a 6-man tag match. That's going to be something. So you can see all that and some other things up on Saturday night as part of Under Siege. That'll go down on the Impact Plus. For those of you who have it, I have it, so I'll definitely be tuning in to see that, no doubt about that. So with that, let me get it quickly into 205 Live, and then we'll put a bow on this. Okay, come on. All right. For 205 Live, we had Ari Sterling making his debut. He went up against Samir Singh, and Ari Sterling wins in 6 minutes and 13 seconds. 2-star match, solid debut as Sterling showed his athleticism and got the debut win. Then we had Arya Davari and Tony Nese against August Gray and Ike Manjiro. Not sure who that is, but Jiro and Gray win the match at 10 minutes and 24 seconds. 3-star match. Jiro is great and is going to get over huge with this jacket deal. This match got really good in the closing stretch as they were just going nonstop, and the important thing was Jiro looked like a star. 7 out of 10. The show was all about debuts, and both men had a good showing. Jiro's debut came off the more memorable of the two, but I am intrigued to see what each man does going forward. Solid show with a good main event, and the show continues to deliver week in and week out. 7 out of 10. So that's it. That will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night over on MF's channel, BraceFan95, for another all-new edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem, NXT, and AEW Dynamite as always. Thursday, one of our biggest Strictly Sports shows of the year, one of my favorite shows of the year, our annual NFL schedule release special. We'll break down the noteworthy games of all 18 weeks that we feel are the standout games in our eyes. Can't wait to do that. Friday night, MF we'll be back over with MF over on BraceFan95 for the Cerebral Smack Talk, as we will review Friday Night SmackDown, their go-home show for WrestleMania Backlash, and then we will preview the WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view card. And then Sunday night, following the Backlash pay-per-view, it will be our recap show with MF, and then next Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, the Raw Fallout from WrestleMania Backlash, and my review of the Impact Wrestling Under Siege special. MF, if you want to join me on that, you're more than welcome. So that'll do it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, Anthony Florio here, signing off on behalf of my elite panel, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson, and always and forever, Yankee Messiah 401 Derek forever. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw the Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, and to play so long, bye, everybody. Bye.